Hello everybody, welcome back to another book related video here on my channel. I'm really excited about this because I feel like I haven't actually made a book specific video in a while, besides the fact that I'm doing reading vlogs for a certain trilogy that will be posted, if not before this video, then right after. I feel like you'll know by the thumbnails. In today's video, I feel like you guys already know because you already clicked on this video, so you've seen the thumbnail. I will be pulling prompts from a TBR jar. Technically, after moving 2,000 miles and being home, being busy a lot, I have not been reading that much. I've been having 1 to 3 books that I read in a month, so this will just be my TBR prompt jar, but not specific for a month. It'll just be until I finish it or until I want to move on and do another one of these videos. I don't know how many I'm going to do. I'll probably stick with my 6 or 8 like I did in the previous videos that I've done for monthly TBRs. Also, I kind of forgot to mention, this is every single one of my books. You can't see all of it because I didn't want to back up the camera all the way. I'm right now sitting up in a loft. There's a railing right behind y'all, and this is above a bedroom. So here's some books that I've already read for the most part, and then we have all of this. I have this in a reading vlog, and I do believe it's for Legendary. It might be in Caravel. I'm not 100% positive, but it's in one of those reading vlogs. I went ahead and put all 276 books, I do believe, or 266 books out, and I still have space for a few more, which is great because I have a few books that I want to get. We will be picking from this whole section, but at the same time, not every single one of these books are on my physical TBR. Keep that in mind. I'm really excited to make this video, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. I have not done this since we lived in Las Vegas, so this is going to be quite fun. First prompt. Longest book on my physical TBR. I was really hoping not to get this prompt because I already know what it is, and it's one that I kind of soft DNF'd because I wasn't fully ready, and I also had like a mass market paperback edition, so this should be easier to read. And I have been eyeing it a lot here lately, and I've also been wanting to read it, maybe try and read it, but like I said, I haven't been reading that much, and it's over 1,148 pages. I'll be back, let me grab it. The longest book on my physical TBR is none other than The Stand by Stephen King. Like I said, I'm really excited to read this. I knew right away that this is my longest one on my physical TBR because, like I said, it's 1,148 plus pages. I think it is 48. The copy that I had was 1,148. This one is 1,149 pages, so pretty much the same. I have seen this book multiple times on Ian's channel. He recommends Stephen King, but this is one of his favorite books, I do believe, is The Stand. And like I said, I tried to read this when we were out in Vegas, and then I soft DNF'd it because I just got tired of holding the book that I had, and I found this one for free in the Airman's Attic, and ever since I found it, because of how floppy it is, I feel like this is going to be the perfect read, or the perfect book itself to read for The Stand. Our next one, a book by a female author. Alright, what are some books that I really wanted? There's that book. This is a female author. Folding, I just put that one. As much as I hate to put this one back on a TBR, I have seen this book recirculating again, and it's made me so interested. So a book by a female author, I will be choosing The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Prompt number 3. A Nicholas Sparks book. That's pretty easy. All of my Nicholas Sparks are pretty much right here. I have Egyptian book first, and then I have all the Nicholas Sparks until right about here. Then we have Christian, just a couple Christian ones that fit perfectly right there. Now I know, because of how I had this set up, that I have Safe Haven, The Rescue, Message in a Bottle, A Bend in the Road, and then the only paperback I haven't read that I have is The Best of Me. I think I'm going to choose The Best of Me, one, because this is my last paperback to read of his that I own at least, and then secondly, just because it just is one of the newer ones, I do believe, and I'm just more intrigued because of the cover. I love the stars on it. I love how this whole cover looks. So this will be my Nicholas Sparks book. This is getting really interesting right now. I forgot what kind of prompts I had in here. For book number 4, it's read any book from a series. Like I said, I'm about to finish a trilogy. I'm on the last book. I have about, I'd say, 170 pages left. So starting a new series is going to be both fun, but also not fully fun, if that makes sense. We have the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. I do have prompts in here for that, and it'd be my luck that I'd pull that next. But then we also have Red Queen that I've been thinking about. I would love for Brianna to come out with her second book, even if it's arcs, and I would love to read the second book from Throne of Betrayal, which is Throne of Wings and Ash. I have been thinking about that book so much, and it's supposed to come out soon. We have House of Salt and Sorrows and also Red Rising next to it. We have Cinder, Cress, and Winter that I still have to read. I don't have the novellas for those. Technically over here I have ACOTAR. Down here I have some Colleen Hoovers, like It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us. I've kind of been thinking about reading that just because the movie's coming out, it's recirculating. Also, I just recently bought It Starts With Us, so it'd be nice to kind of read that. I feel like I'm just pulling out books that I've had on my TBR for so many times, but that's okay. I'm going with Kenneth Opel's Airborne. I've been wanting to reread this and circle back to it again so I could read the rest of the series for probably about a year now. I just have not actually ever got to it, so I think now's the time. I just want to add it in a video and fully sit down and read it again. I'm excited to tackle this too. Shake it up a little. A book you know absolutely nothing about. That's perfect. I have so many great books. One, I have my older section. After Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys, I have all of my older books. These are at least like 30, 50 years to maybe 100 or more. I could do any up there pretty much. I think for one of these, I should do one book that I've had on my TBR, my physical TBR, and I thrifted years, many, like 6+ years ago. And I just kind of picked it up because I like the cover. I think I should add one of those books. I'm going with All the Tea in China by Jane Orcutt. I picked this up, I don't know how many years ago. I've always had this book since I've been living with my parents, and I moved out the month after I turned 18, so it's been a while, and I've honestly decluttered and gotten rid of so many books, and this one has always stayed for some reason. So I think I'm actually going to try and put this on my TBR and see what it's like. My battery is about to die in my camera, so let me change it out for my other battery. All right, I'm back. Let's pick book number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Prompt number 6, I guess. A book you bought online. The last book I bought that's coming to my head is the Caraval trilogy. It'd have to be my last Amazon haul. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Colleen Hoover's It Starts With Us. I just recently bought this in an Amazon book haul that I did because I had a $50 gift card, and I was also trying to complete series that I was missing 1 or 2 books out of. So I'm going to do this, see how this is, and then also because this is a duology, it's not too long, and it's a pretty short book in general anyways. A book that is or was really hyped. Well, let's see. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, The Best of Me, and also It Starts With Us. Those are like the major ones. I'm gonna go with Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This I randomly found in a thrift store, and that's why it's kind of beat up. But I think this has been on Book Talk Booktube, I do believe. I think I've seen it on there. So I'm gonna say this is really hyped. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But this is kind of intriguing, and I don't think I have really a true thriller or mystery. I do believe this is a thriller. It says fiction on the back. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this one. Let's make this last one count. This is for prompt number 8 and also book number 8. I'll just be like the worst prompt. Actually, the longest book on my physical TBR was probably my worst one. A new author to me. All right, a new author. What's over here? I'm gonna go with The Neighbors by Nancy Bush. I got this for free when we lived down in Vegas. We had a little garage sale or a community garage sale, and somebody was just giving away a couple books because I wanted one book in particular, and they were like, just take the whole stack. And this one sounded very interesting. This is a completely new author for me, also a new book, never even heard of this, and it's not a full mass market paperback, but it's also kind of small and squarish, so I feel like this would be an interesting read and definitely a unique read. Let's go over the prompts and also the books that will be on my TBR for the next couple, at least weeks, if not months. First, we have a book by a female author. I chose The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. If you have not heard about this book, it says, in France of 1714, in a moment of desperation, a young woman named Adeline meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake. All I've ever heard about this book is that Adeline, or Addie LaRue, she technically meets a stranger in the woods, or like a god or something. She was just that she could live her life or something like that, and then all of a sudden, it's like nobody remembers her, and I think, if I remember correctly, she stumbles across somebody who all of a sudden, like 300 years later, remembers her, and everybody has raved about this book so many different times, and also people have cried during this book, and I feel like even though I've had a lot of great 5 stars here lately, I just need a book that might make me cry. So this is our first book. Next book for the prompt read, any book from a series, we have Kenneth Opel's Airborne. This is a science fiction book or a sci-fi book, and basically it says Matt Cruz is a cabin boy on the Aurora, a huge airship that sails hundreds of feet above the ocean, ferrying wealthy passengers from city to city. It is the life that Matt's always wanted. Convinced he's lighter than air, he imagines himself as buoyant as the hydrogen gas that powers his ship. One night he meets a dying balloonist who speaks of beautiful creatures drifting through the skies. It is only after Matt meets the balloonist's granddaughter that he realizes that the man's ravings legends may, in fact, have been true, and that creatures are completely real and utterly mysterious. In a swashbuckling adventure reminiscent of Jules Verne and Robert Louis Stevenson, Kenneth Opel, author of the best-selling Silver Wing trilogy, creates an imagined world in which the air is populated by transcontinental voyagers, pirates, and beings never before dreamed of by the humans who sail the skies. I love this book. The last time I read it in 2019 or so, and then I realized that it was actually a part of the Matt Kruse trilogy, and because of that I wanted to pick this up and read it, and I found the second book on accident, and then this one as well with it in the thrift store, both in hardcover, so I bought both of them. Next for the prompt, a book you know absolutely nothing about, is All the Tea in China by Jane Orcutt. On the back of this it says, has the saucy high society Englishwoman met her match? Though well-bred, fashionable, and educated, Isabella Goodrich feels useless as a spinster in a world of matchmaking and social gatherings. She'd rather be practicing her skills at the sword and discussing philosophy than making painful small talk at ridiculous parties. Then Isabel meets the mysterious Phineas Snow, and she becomes convinced she is meant to follow him to the mission fields of the Orient. As a woman with an independent nature, she sneaks away and boards a ship to China. What she discovers about her companion and the world beyond Britain's shores draws her into a greater quest, a deeper love than she could have imagined. All the Tea in China is a fast-paced, witty, and light-hearted tale of adventure, romance, and the pursuit of impossible dreams. Then we have the prompt, a book you bought online. Like I said recently from the Amazon haul I did buy It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with this. I feel like I don't really have to talk about this book too much. Then we have the prompt, a Nicholas Sparks book, so I chose The Best of Me. This says, in the spring of 1984, high school students Amanda Collier and Dawson Cole fall deeply in love. Though they were from the opposite side of the tracks, their love for each other seemed to defy the realities of life in their small town in North Carolina. But as the summer of the senior year came to a close, unforeseen events would tear the young couple apart, setting them on radically divergent paths. Now, 25 years later, Amanda and Dawson are summoned back home for a funeral. Neither has lived the life that they imagined, and neither can forget the passionate first love that forever changed their lives. Forced to confront painful memories, the former lovers soon realized that everything they thought they knew about themselves and the dreams they hold dear was not as it seemed, and in the course of a single searing weekend they will ask of the living and also the dead, can love truly rewrite the past? Next we have a book that is really hyped, or was really hyped, and I have Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This says that Ellie Mack was a perfect daughter and then she was gone. 10 years later, after Ellie's disappearance, her mother Laurel Mack is trying to put her life back together when she meets an unexpectedly charming man in a cafe. Before she knows it, she's meeting Floyd's daughter, and his youngest Poppy takes Laurel's breath away because the eerily precocious Poppy is a spitting image of Ellie, and now the unanswered questions she tried so hard to put to rest begin haunting Laurel anew. Where did Ellie go? Did she run away from home as the police have long suspected, or did something more sinister happen? Then of course The Stand by Stephen King, for the longest book on my physical TBR. This, I'm just going to read a small paragraph of this. It says, Stephen King's apocalyptic version of the world blasted by plague, entangled in an elemental struggle between good and evil, remains as riveting and eerily plausible as when it was first published. Barely any room left for my last book. And then we have a new author to you for my last one, which is Nancy Bush, The Neighbors. This has multiple different things on the back. So the first in red says, if you lived here, you'd be dead by now. Welcome to the neighborhood. And then in white it says, it's one of the most exclusive addresses in town, a luxury development with pristine lawns and steep price tags. But there are unforgiving people living in the villages who know your secrets and have plenty of their own, secrets that no one lives to tell. Mackenzie Laughlin has reluctantly moved to the villages as a bodyguard to Daly Aria, who claims someone is pranking her and her husband. Mac expects a simple case of petty squabbles between new and longtime residents. Instead, she hears rumors of squalid affairs, sinister disappearances that tie into a missing persons investigation led by her partner, Jesse James Taft. And behind every door and every smile, there are grudges that run deep and dangerous. Mac and Taft are being marked as targets, but why? Figuring out who to trust is the key to uncovering a killer who has no qualms about killing again. The neighbors are watching, and if getting into the villages was difficult, getting out alive may be impossible. And this is my entire TBR now. I'm so excited that I got to do one of these videos, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. I hope to see y'all in another video here on my channel, and as always, God bless.